Is Binance a massive pump and dump fraud market, or is it crypto's crazy money-making machine? Personally, I feel it is the second option of these two questions, and in this video I will be exploring the results from the initial exchange offerings that have been listed on Binance and exploring the opportunities and the risks involved in IEO investing. By the way, if you are not yet signed up to Binance, then there is a link down below where you can start your investing and trading journey on one of the industry's most liquid and trusted exchanges. Now, the thing we really need to understand about Binance, and I think particularly about the IEO market, is that Binance is a massive financial institution and a FOMO market. To understand why coins pump on Binance, we need to understand human psychology. People believe Binance IEOs will pump. Why? Because they are Binance IEOs. That's why. Seems like a really silly reason, doesn't it? But people are not rational actors for the most part. The power of the herd mentality is incredibly strong in financial markets. Binance pumps have really become the new Coinbase pumps. Just watch when a coin migrates to Binance chain. Pump. When it lists on Binance. Pump. And I imagine if you have been hanging around any Reddits or Telegram groups of any coin that is not listed on Binance, then you have probably seen the very common question, when Binance? Why is this question asked? Because Binance is the most important spot price market in the crypto economy right now. As an example of how we see this human psychology thing kind of playing out in real terms, let's kind of consider the following. So when you missed the Matic pump, what do? You jump into BitTorrent. Why? Because you think that it's going to pump next. And you know what? Someone else has that same crazy idea. And what happens then? The price goes up. Of course, attracting in even more investors and speculators, thus becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. But eventually the music stops, and some people bought high and are stuck with bags. Maybe those people have a tight stop loss and they exit at just a small loss. Maybe they hodl and the price goes back up and they make a profit. Maybe they hodl and they lose it all. Welcome to investing, folks. It's also worth noting that Binance will probably make $1 billion in profit this year if the markets continue like they have been. Because as I mentioned, they are the largest spot price market in the industry. So ask yourself the question, when you start considering some of the allegations that you hear spread online about Binance, are they really willing to risk their entire reputation, which they of course have been building for years now, to do some of the nefarious things of which they have actually been accused? No. What? All to cream an extra few $1 million off the top, possibly risking the long-term popularity and viability of the exchange and costing them billions of dollars in lost potential revenue in the years to come? It doesn't make any sense. Now, do I agree with every single thing that Binance does? No. And I don't have to. But do I trust Binance as a safe and liquid market where I can go and buy and sell and trade a whole range of cryptocurrencies? Yeah, I do. That is why I do the majority of my trading on Binance. Well, there have been accusations of some kind of, coordinated pump and dumps, even done by the exchange itself. Those theories, in my book at least, don't hold any water. As again, why would Binance risk everything for a tiny fraction of extra profit? Now, are coordinated pump and dumps a bad thing? Yeah, they are. Because they exist to deceive investors, and they are often pulled off on these, ultra low cap coins. And there are lots of groups out there that do this very kind of nefarious BS. But if a market pumps and then it dumps, is that necessarily manipulation? No. Markets have cycles. They heat up and then they cool off. Also understand that using the words pump and dump have a connotation that something nefarious is happening. But without any evidence to say that something nefarious has happened, we are just creating rumors. That's it. How does our perception change if we say price increase or price decrease? Those words carry very different weight, and it creates a very different story. So was the recent pump of Binance IEOs something nefarious? I don't think so. And I will give my reasoning below. But it is worth considering too that Binance excludes many key jurisdictions from investing in their IEOs during the initial sale. This is of course due to regulatory concerns and all that jazz. But what does that actually mean for the secondary markets when trading opens up? It means that there is a massive demand to scoop these tokens up at cheap prices. As in particular, the United States, or at least citizens of the United States, are excluded, and those investors make up around 30% of the total global demand for cryptocurrencies. So 30% of investors who want a piece of the action on these IEO coins when they hit the open markets pile in, hoping to turn a profit. Now let's look at the recent price action over on Binance. Now on the 16th and on the 17th, Bitcoin's price dropped on Binance from $8,300 to $6,900. Now if we look at Ethereum, it was a little bit behind Bitcoin in moving down in price. On the 16th, it hit $280 before retracing to $225 on the 17th. So the two top cryptocurrencies dropped as people took profits and sold. Did everyone move out into Tether? No, of course they didn't. Some people thought Bitcoin and Ethereum will be cooling down after their big runs. Time to hit the altcoin market for those sick gains. Now what is going to pump if I'm trading over on Binance? Oh, recent Binance IEOs. Those are hot, right? Everyone always wants those. So what happened? People go and buy the IEO coins. Matic started moving on the 16th and went from 120 Satoshis to 570 Satoshis before retracing down to 280 Satoshis today. People who bought at 120 are still ahead significantly in their investment. Fetch went from 1,680 Satoshis up to 4,200 Satoshis before retracing to 2,120 Satoshis today. Still ahead if you bought the bottom. BitTorrent, 10 Satoshis to 20 Satoshis. What? There hasn't been a retracement, but sir, I was promised a coordinated pump and a dump. Why is the price continuing to increase? Goes against the logic of a pump and dump, doesn't it? Seller went from 150 Satoshis to 320 Satoshis before retracing to 166 Satoshis today. You are still ahead if you bought the dip. But, question, had this been a coordinated pump and dump across these 4 Binance recent IEOs, then why is BitTorrent still up so significantly? Why is Matic maintaining a relatively strong price to where it was only a week or so ago? If this was a coordinated pump and dump across all 4 of these cryptos, well, it seems that they forgot to dump 2 of them. Doesn't make any sense, does it? In every case, these cryptos had bottomed out, providing ample buying opportunities for investors to get in and grab them at a cheap price and make a profit. In each case, had you bought the bottom and for some reason did not take any profits after the big price increases that we did see, then today, at the time of recording this video, you are still ahead on every of these cryptos. Although seller and fetch just barely. But if you bought, watched it pump, and didn't take any profits along the way, the question to you is, why not? Did you think it would go up forever? Interesting question to ask. Now that is, of course, just the recent price action, but let us also examine the whole picture about the IEO market, not just the recent price movements, because this also is very informative. Because even though Americans and many other people in many other jurisdictions are excluded, many Europeans are not. They're able to buy these IEOs during the sales, and they have done very well investing in these IEOs. Matic is currently up 10x in USD and around 5x in BTC and Ethereum. It maxed out at 20x or 10x in crypto. BitTorrent is up 10x in USD or around 4.5x in Bitcoin and Ethereum, maxing out around 20x in USD and 9x in crypto. Now Fetch AI is currently only up 2x in USD and down in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that is the same story with Seller Network. But there were ample opportunities to take profits on either of these cryptos, with both of them providing handsome returns for anyone who got into the IEO. Seller and Fetch have not done super well on the markets. But not all cryptos will. And that's okay. Get informed. Make your own decisions. Read the charts. Understand the information you're seeing and understand the market that you're investing into. Taking profits is one of the hardest things for many people to do. There are no guarantees of profits in crypto. Sorry. If you want guaranteed profits, then you know what? You're in the wrong place, because there are no guaranteed profits here. Many of these crypto assets are super speculative. Some of them will fail miserably. Even if they have a good idea or interesting technology, others will succeed spectacularly, even if their idea wasn't super amazing or super original, or their technology wasn't super original. That's the harsh truth, guys. And the other harsh truth is that someone will always buy the top. And someone will always sell the top. Now, there has been a lot of focus on vilifying the guy who was clever enough to sell the top and glorifying the poor dude who bought the top. This doesn't make any sense to me. When investing in highly speculative assets which are undergoing rapid price increases in the markets, there are a few things that we must understand and, of course, be aware of as investors. First is the FOMO market effect. This is a game where your hands can get burnt if you are not careful. And if the heat is too hot for you, then don't get in the kitchen. You don't need to play the ICO game. Or if you do get in the kitchen, then be ready to play the game and understand the rules of that game. If you are buying into a crypto that is pumping hard, are you using the tools at your disposal? Are you using stop losses to mitigate your downside? If not, why not? If the market falls out from under this crypto that you've just put a bunch of money into and the price drops significantly, you just lost a lot of money. Why didn't you use a stop loss? That's a real question to ask when you're trading in these highly speculative assets. Now look, maybe you're buying for a long-term hold here. Well, why'd you go all in at one time? And even if you are buying long-term, I mean, that's cool, but that's still no reason to ignore market trends. Why buy into a pump when you can probably wait for it to cool down and buy it at a cheaper price? Most people lose their shirts day trading. Crypto is no exception. Far from it, in fact. Second is the technology. You have to keep it real that many of these IEO projects are at maximum on public testnets. AKA, they are not yet functioning ecosystems with working products, and they don't have any active user bases, even though they might have strong communities. The value of these tokens is incredibly speculative, as the only demand for their token is based on hype, not on actual value created by demand for, paying nodes and gas fees and all that kind of stuff. So you have to keep that in mind when trading these tokens. Now, with all that being said, I also want to discuss more broadly what I don't like about the IEO market. Yeah, there's a lot of money being made, but for as long as I have been covering the ICO market, there has always been a variety of different problems. There have always been critics of any of the models or of IEOs and tokens and new blockchains and all this stuff. We have gas wars, which favored the rich in the traditional ICO models. Websites and telegrams and mail lists all got hacked, defrauding investors, etc., etc., etc. The rise of the IEO has fixed a lot of those security issues, or at the very least, made them less painful. Although, the complaint that seems to probably come up most frequently with the IEO model is that only a tiny percentage is given out to investors in the public sale. Looking at the recent IEOs on Binance, or perhaps the upcoming IEO of Harmony, Harmony will be 12.5% of their total token supply. Recent IEO Matic was 19% of the total token supply, so not bad, actually. But Seller Network, Fetch AI, and BitTorrent were all around 6% of the total token supply. Not really awesome, to be honest. And while Matic and Harmony are giving much bigger percentages than we did see on some of the previous IEOs, I would still love to see more tokens going into the hands of regular investors. I think it's good for the overall long-term vision of these projects. The second biggest criticism of the IEO is that it is too hard to get in. First, it was unfair because it was first come, first serve. Now it's unfair because the lottery system favors richer investors. Well, yeah, it does. It's a problem. In order to be eligible to get lottery tickets for the public sales on Binance, you need to actually have a nice little stack of BNB tokens. Now, to be fair, this is way better than letting bots gobble everything up in like 3 seconds in this first come, first serve model that disappointed everybody. But it does require an investment in the BNB token. And at more than $30 a pop, some are simply not going to be able to afford to buy enough BNB to get lottery tickets. So it's fair for those who can afford it. Those who cannot afford to invest in the adequate amount of BNB to get a chance to win a lottery ticket are excluded. That's how it works, guys. Those are the rules of the game as set out by the private business Binance. If you don't like it, then don't invest in IEOs. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Also, the model has been further criticized as pumping the price of the BNB token, due, of course, to needing the BNB token to be eligible for the lottery tickets and also to be able to invest in the IEO itself. And actually, I see this as a really good strategy. But some, for I have no idea what reason, have taken a negative view that this is to pump the value of BNB. Shock. Gasp. You mean to tell me that a for-profit business with a crypto token on their platform is actually out there doing the things needed to increase the value of their token instead of decrease the value of their token? It's crazy. Do they have no shame? Honestly, this one really baffles me as a criticism because, look, I know that we are used to going out, buying tokens, and then watch their value plummet into the void of nothingness. But BNB investors have done incredibly well over time because the team over at Binance continues to make utility for the token. And BNB will continue to do well thanks to these initiatives from the team. And the final criticism is that IEOs are just dirty, dirty marketing tools. Are they used for marketing? Yeah, of course they are. IEOs are definitely part of the marketing of a project. Being on an exchange like Binance brings a lot of eyes onto your project. Is this a bad thing? No, it isn't. Unless, of course, you think that any fundraising at all is a bad thing, or the ICOs are bad overall and IEOs are bad overall, which, to be honest, is a different story altogether if that's how you feel. I think fundraising is good. I think that marketing your project is a good thing. IEOs on Binance have actually been a very good thing for the market, and they have provided, at least up until this point, excellent returns for investors who were able to take part in the initial sales, and they have also provided a lot of opportunities for investors on the secondary markets, specifically for these IEO tokens. Are they risky? You're damn right they are risky. But the great part about crypto investing is that if you don't like IEOs, then you can just ignore them. You can just go buy something else. Vote with your dollars. It's that easy. But while opportunity to make a profit exists, investors will remain highly interested in IEOs. And fortunes will be made, and fortunes will be lost. And Binance will continue to offer the investors who are willing to take the risks the chance to make those sick gains. Anyway, guys, that's my take on the IEO market as it currently stands over on Binance. Obviously, a lot of other exchanges are doing IEOs as well, but Binance has been leading the charge in this regard. So I think it was the best idea to make a video specifically about what Binance has been doing. A lot of other IEOs on a lot of other platforms, doing a lot of other things. But I'd love to know what you guys think about the IEO trend overall. Is it a positive or a negative for crypto? And of course, let me know what you think about the recent crypto IEOs over on Binance and all that fun stuff, or anything else you guys want to talk about down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching today's video. You are super awesome. And if you did enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and click on that bell to know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.